Everybody hear me okay? Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanan Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just like to offer my Dandavat pranams to my Guru Maharaj, on Vishnupad Sri Bhaktivedanta Siddhanti Maharaj, and also to Sripad Madhav Prabhu, all Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis on the Zoom present and everywhere, and especially last couple of days we're glorifying Sri Jiva Goswami Pad. I'd like to offer my Sastang Dandavat pranams and pay for his causeless mercy. So, Sri
in your Mangala Charan, never forget to remember Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. Okay, that's more important. By remembering Gurudev and Prabhupada means they're representing the whole entire Guru Parampara. You always offer pranams to them. Okay.
Also offering my pranams to Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj and all of his transcendental associates, and in the lotus feet of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and our whole Rupanuga Guru Varga. So Sri Rups and Sanatan Goswamis, our most prominent Goswamis in our line, have had a brother called Sri Anupam. He was the father of Sri Jiva Goswami. Today, or last couple of days, we've been glorifying Sri Jiva Goswami Pad. So, just introducing Sri Jiva Goswami Pad, was the son of Anupam and spiritual successor of Sri Rupa Goswami, and only son of their dynasty. So, Sri Rupa, Sanatan and Anupam, they all met Sriman Mahaprabhu when he came to Ram Kelly, where they were staying and working for the emperor, the Muslim emperor at that time, Hussein Shah. And Rupa and Sanatan took Sri Jiva Goswami Pad when he was a baby and offered him at the lotus feet of Sriman Mahaprabhu, who blessed him and named him, placing his hand on his head. Before Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, Anupam left the household life, they allocated a portion of their wealth for paying for the studies of Sri Jiva Goswami Pad. Him being the only son in their dynasty, it was very important to them that his studies go properly and he learns Sanskrit grammar, logic, all sastras. So they allocated him enough wealth for him to complete all of his studies. When he was 14, Sri Jiva Goswami Pad left for Navadvip Dham, where he met Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and there they performed the first Dham Parikram of Sri Navadvip Dham, which is described by Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Sri Navadvip Dham Mahatmya. Sri Nityananda Prabhu, after they completed that Dham Parikram and he gave him his blessings, sent him to Vrindavan to stay with Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. On the way, he met Sri Madhusudan Vachaspati and learned all Bhaktivedanta from him. He was a disciple of Srila Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who had heard all of the conclusions of Bhaktivedanta from Sriman Mahaprabhu himself. He was speaking Vedanta Sutra with the commentary of Shankaracharya, and Mahaprabhu listened for, I think, 3 days without saying anything, without reacting at all. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya asked him,
7 days.
7 days, sorry, Guruji. For 7 days he listened without saying anything at all, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya commented that, I don't understand if you know what I'm saying or not, so please explain if you understand my commentary. And Mahaprabhu said that your commentary is just like the clouds covering the sun. So later Mahaprabhu enlightened him, and Sri Madhusudan Vachaspati was his direct disciple who had heard the Vedanta from him. So he knew the conclusion, Mahaprabhu's conclusion of Vedanta Sutra. So Jiva Goswami Pad also stayed with him there and learned all Vedanta, and also learned Shankaracharya's commentary as well, so that he could easily refute all Mayavad ideas. So after studying there, he proceeded on to Vrindavan, where he met Sri Sanatan Goswami Pad, who placed him under the care of Rupa Goswami, where he stayed close to Sri Rupa Goswami Pad's hut at Radha Damodar temple. There he was studying under the guidance of Sri Rupa Goswami. I'm just going to close the door. There's some people speaking. So
Yes, yes.
there he was. Sorry, Guruji, were you going to say something?
No.
There he was studying under the guidance of Sri Rupa Goswami. Sri Rupa Goswami would give him his works to read and read to him, and they would have discourses in this way. And one day while they were reading together like this, Sri Vallabhacharya came on the scene. He had met Sri Rupa Goswami in Prayag, and he was a little older than Sri Rupa Goswami. He was maybe old enough to be his father. So for that reason, Sri Rupa Goswami had a certain kind of reverence and respect for Sri Vallabhacharya and regarded him with appropriate respect, seeing him as his senior and treating him like that. So Vallabhacharya inquired, "What are you working on these days, Rupa Goswami? You have some projects?" Rupa Goswami said, "Yes, I'm writing a book called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu," with folded palms, like very humbly. He said, "I'm writing this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu." So Vallabhacharya offered to proofread everything. He said, "Okay, I'll point out any mistakes." At that time, Jiva Goswami was fanning Sri Rupa Goswami with a leaf, and he felt maybe my Gurudev there's some offense to my Gurudev now. So later, Sri Jiva Goswami met Sri Vallabhacharya at the river while they were taking water, and he asked him, "Hey Gosai," very respectfully, "you offered to proofread my Guru Maharaj's works. I was wondering if you found any errors there." So Sri Vallabhacharya said, "Yes, I found some mistakes, even though you're not going to understand anything because you haven't studied Sanskrit grammar." He wasn't considering him so learned, but just judging him by his age. And he showed him the mistake, and Sri Jiva Goswami began to enter debate with him there. So this debate was quite fierce, and Jiva Goswami was strongly establishing his Guru Maharaj's writing as completely authentic. In the end, Vallabhacharya had to admit defeat, had to admit that he couldn't refute Sri Jiva Goswami's arguments, nor could he answer his arguments. So he just with folded palms went back to Sri Rupa Goswami and glorified Sri Jiva Goswami that, "Hey, your disciple, that young boy, he's a genius, and someday he's going to be very, very famous all across the three worlds." And he informed Sri Rupa Goswami about what happened. But so Rupa Goswami offered pranams and Vallabhacharya left. But when Sri Jiva Goswami arrived, Sri Rupa was very unhappy with him. He chastised him for breaching the etiquette and told him, "You're not tolerant enough. You're so intolerant that this elderly Brahmin came and he was so nicely proofreading my works for me, and you're so intolerant that you entered a debate with him and breached etiquette in this way. So you just go now because you're just like an embarrassment." He was very angry with him that he breached that etiquette. So Sri Jiva Goswami left with his heart completely broken, and he went to the village of Bhaigaon to live in a cave. That cave was completely infested by crocodiles, and there he was just crying rivers of tears, performing bhajan in deep separation from his guru, Sri Rupa Goswami. He stopped eating, stopped taking water, and very quickly he began to become very emaciated, skinny, thin. So while he was performing bhajan in that cave in this way, Sri Sanatana Goswami had visited that village and heard about Sri Jiva Goswami from the locals there that, "Baba, we thought that you were very renounced, but there is even someone more renounced than you, more of a bhajananandi than you. He's staying in this cave. He's weeping. We bring him food and everything, but he refuses to eat." So Sri Sanatana Goswami went to find Sri Jiva Goswami, knowing that, "I know this must be my Jiva." So he went to him, found him in that cave, and there they reunited and wept together. So Sri Sanatan took him by the hand and brought him back to Vrindavan. He brought him there to Rupa Goswami and approached Rupa Goswami saying, "Hey Rup, I heard, from the Vaishnavas that it is the duty of all Vaishnavas to give mercy to the Jivas." And Rupa Goswami said, "Yes, it is the duty of the Vaishnavas to give karuna to the Jivas." And Sanatana Goswami said, "Then what about this Jiva? Why don't you give him your mercy?" And then Jiva Goswami came out completely emaciated and skinny, and Rupa Goswami started weeping for his disciple, and there they reunited and just wept together. From then on, Sri Rupa Goswami gave all his works to Jiva Goswami for proofreading. and they continued their relationship, guru-disciple relationship, and Jiva Goswami continued studying under his guidance. So when our Guru Vargas speak this katha, they raise the question, who was right in this supposed kind of conflict of interest? Was it Rupa Goswami who was right to send Jiva Goswami away, or Jiva Goswami who was right? And the answer is that Sri Rupa Goswami was taking the humble position in front of his elder. He didn't want to breach etiquette, and he had deep respect for all the Vaishnavas. So in that way, he corrected his disciple very firmly and sent him away. So he was completely right to do so. But at the same time, Sri Jiva Goswami was defending his Gurudev's legacy, which is the duty of a true disciple. Therefore, both Sri Jiva Goswami and Rupa Goswami were correct. Sri Jiva Goswami was acting as the ideal Sishya, and Sri Rupa Goswami was acting as the ideal Guru. So later, Jiva Goswami Pad went on to write the 6 Sandarbhas, enlarging the works of Sri Rupa and Sanatan, refuting all Mayavad concepts, establishing that Sri Krishna is Parabrahm, the source of the impersonal Brahman. He explained how Krishna is Sarva Shaktiman, the possessor of all potencies, and refuted the concept that Krishna is an incarnation of Lord Narayan. So from so many of the Upanishads, Vedas, Puranas, he took evidence, established that Srimad Bhagavatam is the topmost Praman, and so many other of our fundamental Tattva Siddhantas are coming from these 6 Sandarbhas written by Jiva Goswami. And later those Sandarbhas were given to the Prabhutraya, Sri Narottam Srinivas Shamananda, and that was when that pastime that our Guru Maharaj spoke yesterday took place. So unless just today, just begging for the mercy of Sri Jiva Goswami Pad, that maybe one day I can understand the teachings of my Guru Maharaj, just a fraction of the depth that Sri Jiva Goswami Pad was able to understand the heart of Sri Rupa Goswami, and praying for his mercy for all of us, that he can bless us to understand his amazing works, the 6 Sandarbhas, and that he can imbibe us with some real service attitude to our Guru Vargas. Offering my pranams in the lotus feet of Jiva Goswami today, and praying for all of the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Jiva Goswami Pad ki. Very nice. Very nice. He already covered so many points. Srila Gurudev used to speak this, and I think you're reading from Srila Gurudev article, right? Srila Gurudev used to speak in this sequence. And 3 important points. One is the Parikrama path. Shri Nityam Prabhu took Jiva Goswami path for Navdeep Dham Parikrama. So the first Parikrama started by Shri Nityanand Prabhu along with Shri Jiva Goswami path. And that's written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his book Shri Navdeep Dham Mahatmya. And then the other important point is Shri Rupa Goswami path externally kind of chastised Jiva Goswami to go away from here. Go to Purva Dasha, means east direction. So there's also significance. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kaviraj Goswami explains, your father has kept a great wealth for you hidden somewhere. Oh really? Where is that wealth? The Kaviraj Goswami explaining. If you go south direction, if you dig there, don't try to dig there, because wasps are there. They're going to eat you. Don't go to west direction. Python is there. So in this way, just summarizing, not going detailed in that. Don't go south direction, don't go north direction, don't go east direction, because ghost is there, wasps are there, Python is there. What's the best direction? East direction. The wealth is there. So the words Rupa Goswami Pad chastising Jiva Goswami say, go, Purva Disha. That means that was not a rejection. Srila Gurudev explains. Other point we discussed, I'm just giving a brief. Other point we discussed is about Sri Jiva Goswami Pad acting as Shiksha Guru of the three prominent acharyas. So this proves no discrimination between Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru. Third point, Sri Jiva Goswami Pad was like the owner of the whole complete Vrindavan Dham, the best scholar of his time. And there are some allegations on him that he's promoting Sokyavad, means the marriage of Radha and Krishna, which is totally wrong. And he wrote this, but to save people going to hell, because they were criticizing Radharani for this, considering her unchaste woman. That's something important in Jiva Goswami's life history. And then, what other point we heard yesterday? Sokyavad. Yes. And he wrote 6 Sandarbhas. Any point Yadava want to introduce? You want to add in that?
Nala Pranam Maharaj.
Very good.
Introduce Nusa Sandarbha?
No, I'm saying anything you want to add on?
Add on?
Glory for Jiva Goswami.
I can try when what Gurudev will inspire me. Magyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Mitangina Tasme Shri Gurave Namam Namam Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyamane Shishima Bhakti Vedanta Arane Tinamine Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine Namam Vishnupadaya Sarasya Marupine Shishima Bhakti Pragyana Keshave Tinamine Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shimate Bhakti Siddhanta Sarasvati Tinamine Jai Rupa Sanatana Bhata Raghunata Jiva Gopal Bhata Dasa Raghunata Vancha Kalpatarubhyaksha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Paitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Prabhuji before me said almost everything, but Sri Jiva Goswami is very important in our Gaudiya Sampradaya, because without him we will not be able to have the teaching of Srila Rupa Goswami, because he protected Srila Rupa Goswami's teachings, and he gave them to Sri Narottam Das Thakur, Sri Samananda Prabhu, and Sri Srinivasa Acharya to preach this teaching. I cannot hear you, Maharaj.
No, I'm hearing you. I'm not speaking.
I thought we were speaking, and so without his conclusions, we will not be able also to understand what Sri Rupa Goswami told to us. And Hinitsa Sandarbhas, they are like a treasure chest, so where all Rupa Goswami's teaching are there, because they are like a valuable jewel. And if a jewel is very valuable, is hidden, because otherwise, if is like free for everyone, then it's not so valuable. So these teaching of Sri Rupa Goswami are hidden in Sandarbhas, and we must know Sandarbhas. Srila Gurudev said we must know Sandarbhas before entering the Tattva of Sandarbha, before entering in Srila Rupa Goswami's teachings. And also, Srila Jiva Goswami is so powerful that no one until now was ever able to refute his statements in his Sandarbhas. And whatever he said, and no one was never able to refute what he said. And these Sandarbhas are explaining about Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojan. And first 4, Tattva Sandarbha, Bhagavad Sandarbha, Paramatma Sandarbha, Krishna Sandarbha, explain about Sambandha Jnana, and everything that is related to Sambandha, knowing Krishna, knowing the Bhagavatam, and the Tattva. And so Jiva Goswami in these Sandarbhas took all the teachings about many scriptures, Puranas, Upanishad, and famous scriptures, and he put it all in these Sandarbhas. And then in Bhakti Sandarbha, he wrote about Abhideya, so Sambandhi's relationship with Krishna, discovering relationship that we have forgotten. In Abhideya, we are knowing the path, what was the process to get to Krishna. And in Bhakti Sandarbha, he wrote everything about related to Bhakti. So if some statements about Bhakti in Bhagavad Gita, Purana, Upanishad, he wrote in this Sandarbha. And then in Priti Sandarbha, Priti means Prem, he also talk about Prem, that is the goal of our life. So in this Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami put everything, and we are very grateful to him, because without his mercy, we would not be able to know all these truths and all these things.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So, two great work by Sri Jiva Goswami. One we heard, as Yadava Prabhu said, the Sandarbhas. Whenever we hear this word Sandarbhas, it reminds us of Sri Jiva Goswami Pad. That was the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not only order to chant Harinam. Suno Suno Nityanand, Suno Haridas. What Mahaprabhu ordered to Nityan Prabhu and Haridas Thakur? Shri Haridas Thakur, who was always chanting Harinam. Mahaprabhu gave order to these two personalities. Why? There is a significance. Suno Suno Nityanand, Suno Haridas, Amar Agya Sarvatra Karo Prachar. Prati Griye Griye Karo Ei Bikha. Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Karo Krishna Shiksha. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chose Nityan Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. Why? Why not anybody else? Because Shri Nityan Prabhu is Shri Baldev Prabhu, and the creation manifests from Shri Baldev Prabhu. So, the manifestation of creation is from Shri Baldev Prabhu. The one who creates also holds the responsibility to maintain. Understand? Who is Haridas Thakur? Shri Brahmaji. He is also assisting in that creation. He is the creator. He also holds the responsibility to maintain. So Nityan Prabhu and Haridas Thakur both, being the creator, have this responsibility to maintain the entire universes. But maintaining how? Not only feeding or making everyone eat, not that kind of maintaining. Maintaining with bhakti, maintaining with Harinam. That's why Mahaprabhu chose Shri Nityan Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. Understand? And also, Shri Nityan Prabhu is Akhand Guru Tattva, undivided, non-dual, undivided Guru Tattva. The Adi Guru. All Guru Tattva comes from Shri Nityanand Prabhu. Similarly, Shri Haridas Thakur is also Brahmaji, right? And who is Brahmaji? He is our Sampradaya Acharya. Our Sampradaya starts from Shri Brahm Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. That's why the pastimes of Mahaprabhu, everything has some reasoning. It's not just randomly, okay, Nityanand, yes, and Haridas, okay, both of you. Why not anybody else? There's some consideration. Understand? There's some consideration. Why he chose? Why Krishna chose only Uddhav, not anybody else? I did mention this a couple of times, not repeating, but some considerations are there. So these are the considerations. Many more, but I just said the prominent ones. And what Mahaprabhu is ordering them. Suno suno Nityanand, suno Haridas. Oh Nityanand Haridas, Amar Agya, my order. Sarvatra Karo Prachar. Preach everywhere my order. And what is my order? Go each and every house. Prati griye griye karo e bikha. Go each and every house and beg everyone. What? Bolo Krishna. Bhajo Krishna. Karo Krishna Shiksha. Chant the name of Krishna. Worship Krishna and follow the instructions of Krishna. That includes everything. Understand? That includes everything. So this instruction to 6 Goswamis, in those 6, the 4 instructions given to 6 Goswamis, what are those instructions? We heard some days back. Discovering lost holy places and writing books, installing deities, and promoting or manifesting Vaishnav Sadachar, etiquette, Vaishnav etiquette, very important. So, these 4 instructions were given. Srila Haridas Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chose Srila Haridas Thakur. Mahaprabhu is choosing each and every of his associates to demonstrate, to highlight something. He chose Srila Haridas Thakur for showing Nama Nishta. He chose Sri 6 Goswamis and especially Sri Jiva Goswami for Tattva and Siddhanta. From each and every associate. Srila Haridas Thakur chanting whole day and night. But Srila Gurudev always, and our Acharyas always, Srila Prabhupada always, comparative studies. They perform comparative studies. And when we do comparative studies, it's not that we are offending someone, it's just we highlight someone's specialty. Srila Gurudev comparative study says, without any offense to any Acharya, because everyone is associate of Mahaprabhu, but the specialty part, Sri Haridas Thakur chanting day and night, 300,000 names. Okay. And who is Haridas Thakur? Brahmaji and Prahlad Maharaj combined together. But who is Sri Rupa Goswami? It's Rupa Manjari, the manifestation of the form of Radharani. Who is Jiva Goswami? Vilas Manjari. Okay. And Rati Manjari, Lavanga Manjari, and all others. How they are so much intimate with Radharani, with Mahaprabhu. The associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who are with him in Sri Jagannath Puri Dham, in Sri Navdeep Dham, and the 6 Goswamis, 3 sections have so much speciality. They all are not same. They're not same. Some little difference means speciality. The 6 Goswamis, they are Manjaris. Only Rup Goswami Pad and Sarup Damodar Goswami Pad, only they understood the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when Mahaprabhu was singing this verse in front of Lord Jagannath. That doesn't mean all others are less, because we are human beings. So we, when we hear this, we start with our mental status. Oh yes, they are less. Oh yes, he's more. This is human nature. But go beyond this nature, and with maturity level, but with understand philosophical point, with considerations. Who is Srila Haridas Thakur and who is Srila Rupa Goswami Pad? Okay, another example. That's Gurudev said from Brihad Bhagavatamritam by Sanatana Goswami. Who is superior? Amrish Maharaj, who is still practicing and not got perfection, or Prahlad Maharaj, who already got perfection and is associate of Lord Nrsimhadev? Okay. So we all will say yes. Prahlad Maharaj is superior because he is associate of Lord Nrsimhadev. And Amrish Maharaj, he is only practicing. He is not associate. That's philosophical. That's Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. Presented by Sri Sanatana Goswami in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So we will say this, but actually not. Amrish Maharaj superior than Prahlad Maharaj. Even though he is not attained yet his transcendental form. Whereas Prahlad Maharaj situated in that. So why Amrish Maharaj is superior? Because Prahlad Maharaj now already situated in his spiritual form, and that is Shantaras. His Lord Nrsimhadev never feel hungry, means he has no mood of that my Lord Nrsimhadev appeared. He must be hungry, I feed him something. Or he's tired, I massage him. General people will not understand this. They will say, oh, you are criticizing Prahlad Maharaj. But this is the gradation what Sanatana Goswami Pad explaining, going more deep into philosophical point in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Prahlad Maharaj have no service mood. Understand what I'm saying? It's more like considering Nrsimhadev with opulence mood, I mean to say. Whereas Amrish Maharaj, Save Mana Krishna Padar Vindayo Vacham Shi Gun Vaikuntha Karo Hari Mardi Marjaneshu. He's engaging all his senses in the service of the Lord. Even though he's practicing, but when he'll get perfection, he'll be superior than Prahlad Maharaj. Because it is started with that point. Srila Gurudev used to conclude, Hanuman, who can be servant like Hanuman, who serves Lord Ram 24 hours throughout his life. There is not a single moment for himself. Who can compare with Hanuman? The best. Kapipate Dasse, Padyavali, Rupa Goswami is writing, Kapipate Dasse Atha Sakhe Arjune. Hanuman, the best servant, the best example of Dasyavas. But Gurudev said, Hanumanji cannot come in Braj to serve in the Kunja of Radha and Krishna. He has no entry there. Prahlad Maharaj cannot have entry there. But Amrish Maharaj have entry. Because he started his sadhan with that mood, with that guidance to attain that perfection. Even though he's practicing and Prahlad Maharaj already perfect. Understand? So Hanuman cannot enter. Prahlad Maharaj cannot enter. The associates of Dwarka? No. Meera ji. Everyone heard of Meera. Not many years back, contemporary with Shri Rup Goswami Pad and Jiva Goswami Pad. Meera ji always chanting, Mere Girdhar Gopal Krishna, fall in love with Krishna so much. Giving aside her duties of her serving her husband and being a queen, dancing in the streets with ordinary people in the street, not caring for her profile, nothing, just in love with Krishna. And husband gave her poison, saying, Meera, this is Charnamrit of the Lord. She drank that. Nothing happened to her. See her status. But when she came to Vrindavan, searching for Krishna, why I'm not getting Krishna? She heard about Jiva Goswami and Rup Goswami Pad. Yeah. She heard Rup Goswami, presently in Vrindavan, the best Acharya. So she has this doubt, not doubt, but question. She came to Jiva Goswami Pad requesting, can I see your Gurudev? I want to ask a very important question to him. Jiva Goswami Pad said, you wait, let me first ask him. Jiva Goswami Pad went inside asking Sri Rup Goswami. There's one lady called Meera, she wanted to see you. Rup Goswami Pad said to Jiva Goswami, I don't see the face of any woman. I don't see the face of any woman. Jiva Goswami Pad came with his answer and told Meera, my Gurudev saying he don't see the face of any woman. Meera smiled. She said, oh, I thought only Krishna is one male and everyone is female. Who is this another male who said that he don't want to see the face of any woman, any female? Jiva Goswami Pad gave this answer back to Rup Goswami Pad, and Rup Goswami Pad understood she is not ordinary. And then he allowed, okay, bring her in. Let her come in. Understand? No one can give this simple answer. And the answer of Meera, oh, there's only one male, Krishna. So we can understand her status. She's established in that mood that we all are female. We all are there to get enjoyed by Krishna. He's the only enjoyer. And see what Rup Goswami Pad also said. So anyway, when Meera came inside, she paid obeisances and begged Rup Goswami to answer. Her question is, why I'm not getting Krishna? Where is the delay? What is the point? And after considering everything philosophically and emotionally, Rup Goswami Pad advised Meera, immediately go to Dwarika. You cannot get perfection here in Brajmandal. So what Meera was chanting? Maha Mantra? What Meera was chanting? Krishna Naam? Hari Naam? Day and night? Rup Goswami Pad said, the mood you have for Krishna, you cannot get perfection here in Brajmandal. You have to go Dwarika and very soon you will get Krishna there. Because your mood is Dwarka Krishna, not Braj Krishna. So much subtle discrimination is there. That's why we need maturity. What is our line? And we don't have to get deviate from our line. What Gurudev is saying, there is no other question arise after that. And then Meera, she went to Dwarika. Within few days, she got merged into Dwarkadish, the deity Dwarkadish. Like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she emerged into Sri Dota Gopinath in Jagannath Puri. Meera got merged in Dwarka. Means her mood was not like Braj Gopi's mood, Parkiya Bhav. Her mood was Swakiya. like the married queens of Krishna in Dwarka. This was her mood. And that's why she was not getting perfection here in Brajmandal. And advised by Sri Rupa Goswami Pad, she went to Dwarka because her mood is Swakya Bhav, married one. So many details are there. Whereas Meera was chanting day and night. So it so much matters. If the mood of Dwarka is there, and even if we are chanting, we will not get perfection. So our line is, there is one parampara. I was saying this point in Hawaii. Our Guru parampara is Krishna, Brahmaji, Narad, Vedvyaji, Madhvacharya, and then Gurudev. Gurudev said, yes, this is our parampara, but my parampara is little different. Jokingly he's saying. My parampara starts from Radharani. Radharani, Lalita Sakhi, Rupa Manjari. This is my parampara. And actually this is our Gaudiya parampara. So then Gurudev used to do this comparative study. Who is superior? Srila Haridas Thakur, who is chanting every day, whole day, or Sri Rupa Goswami Pad? Srila Haridas Thakur have countability of chanting 300,000 names. And is chanting according to counting. But Rupa Goswami Pad, there is no counting. Srila Gurudev used to say he chant Hare Krishna. He take his beads and chant Hare Krishna and bas. 24 hours samadhi. Not even one round. Just in chanting one Hare Krishna, he's in as Rupa Manjari in the pastimes of Radha Krishna there, serving there. And when he comes back to regain his consciousness, not even, what to speak of one round, not even half round of beads chanting. That's called speciality. So what order Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Sri Jiva Goswami and other Goswamis to chant whole day and night? Discovering lost holy places, writing books, installing deities, and then establishing Vaishnava Sadachar. And everyone did this. Sri Jiva Goswami Pad also did this. We have to understand our parampara, the vichar of our parampara. And that's all glories and all credit goes to Srila Gurudev, who brought up these details from the ocean, these jewels from the ocean. It's so difficult to understand this. Hanuman, so high position, Prahlad Maharaj, so high position, but they cannot go in Vrindavan. Queens of Dwarika, they are less? No. When devotees, sometimes they get fanatical. They are queens of Dwarika. We have nothing to do with them. They are queens of Krishna. They love Krishna so much. Krishna loves them. Direct associating with Krishna. They also have viraha, separation from Krishna. Mahishi Geet, Srimad Bhagavatam 10 Canto. But all due respect to them, and we need their blessings. For what? To serve, to attain the lotus feet of Radharani, but under the guidance of Lalita and Sri Rupa Manjari. This is one line. But even in that, there are 8 Sakhis. No, I want to follow Vishakha Sakhi, then the line is different. Champak Lata, the line is different. Sudevi, Rangadevi, line is different. Specific one line. When I got initiation from my Guru Maharaj, Guru Maharaj said we don't reveal the meaning of the mantras. When you chant nicely, you will get realization. But we just give you hint. We are serving Radharani under guidance of Lalita, Sakhi and Shri Rupa Manjari. But that's only hint. Very specific, this line, Lalita, Sakhi and Rupa Manjari. Very specific. So more we go into deep, there's more subtle and more fine dhara, this stream. The ordinary person will not understand. Everything is one. Everything is one. All devotees is one. What are you creating this? Why are you creating this? Not one, Baba. Forget about oneness. We have dualism, not oneism. All avatars are same. Krishna is same. No. Dwarkadish Krishna, Mathura Krishna, and then Vrajanandan Krishna. So much difference. Even in Braj Krishna, no Yashodanandan Krishna, not Sridam's Krishna, no Raktak Paktra Krishna. But which Krishna? Gopi Bharatu Padakam Layo, Das Das Anudas. The Krishna who is beloved of the Gopis, Radha Kant, Radha Raman. Specifically, verse one stream. This is what Jiva Goswami are explaining. And his great work, we all heard Sandarbhas, where he's highlighting those, as Yadav Prabhu said, Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojan, Tatu Sandarbha, Bhagavad Sandarbha, Krishna Sandarbha, and then Abhideya is Bhakti Sandarbha and Prayojan is Priti Sandarbha. In that Krishna Sandarbha, all details of Krishna is there. Krishna Sandarbha. All details from different references from different scriptures describing the only Krishna Tattva in that. But these are difficult. But he also explained in very much detail about the pastimes of Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam, 90 chapters describing Krishna in his great work called Shri Gopal Champu. Shri Gopal Champu, where he describes, he reveals all the pastimes from birth of Krishna and all the way to Dwarika. And who is describing these pastimes? Kamal Arjun trees, and these two transcendental personalities appeared. And Vani Gun Kathakyani, may our speech always glorify your pastime. Krishna blessed them. And they both went to Golok Vrindavan. Yes, Snigdhakant and Madhukant. Kant means throat. Snigdh means, Madhu means honey-like. And Snigdh means very polite. So their name is Snigdhakant, Madhukant. And day and night describing, Shri Jiva Goswami Pad writing this introduction. Then who's speaking this pastime? Snigdhakant and Madhukant. In assembly of Brajavasis. Nanda Baba, Yashoda Maya, Sridham, Subal, Raktak, Patrak, all these devotees, associates In the daytime, Snigdhkant is speaking. Radharani is also there. In a evening session, only Braj Gopis and Radharani. No other rasa devotees are there. And Madhukant, with his sweet, melodious Vani, his speech, describing the pastimes only of Radha and Krishna in the night session. And such wonderful description is there. A big hall and very subtle one, we call sections, like a veil, dividing those sections. In one section, Yashoda Maya and her Sakhis are sitting. In another section, Nanda Baba and his Gopas, friends, are sitting. Another section, Krishna's Sakhas are sitting. Another section, Radharani and the Gopis. And a very subtle veil in between those sections, where Krishna can look to each and everyone can also look to Krishna. And while Snigdhkant describing the pastimes of Krishna with Sakhas or Nanda Baba Yashoda Maya, and Krishna is wondering and looking towards Yashoda Maya. I did this? Really? Yeah. I used to do like this. He's hearing and is relishing his own pastimes, looking towards Sakhas, looking towards Nanda Baba, looking towards Yashoda Maya. And in the evening session, late evening session, when Madhukant is describing the pastimes of Radharani and Krishna and the Gopis, Krishna sometimes so shy. I did that? He can't believe himself. Jiva Goswami is writing this. And then he's describing all these pastimes in detail. How Putana came, Shaktasur, Tirnavrat, all killing those asuras. Govardhan Leela, Ras Leela, all detailed. But it's not easy. Gopal means Krishna. Champu means Gadde and Padde together. It's called Champu. Padde means poems and Gadde means shlokas. So, ornamental language, using ornamental language with shlokas and poems together, singing in melody is called Champu. So Shri Gopal Champu. That's the work of Shri Jiva Goswami describing Sokya Bhav, the marriage of Radha Krishna. There is a chapter in Gopal Champu. But as we heard this, why he did this? Why he wrote this? To save people from committing offense. Then he wrote Sandarbhas, and in this verse, the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, Itad eva jigyasa tattva jigyasu atmanam anvaya vyatikarena yasyat sarvatra sarvada. Shri Jiva Goswami Pad give commentary on this verse, beautiful commentary. The meaning is, Itad eva jigyasa, one who is inquisitive, approach Gurudev, spiritual master, with an inquiry mode, with a humble mode, for that bhakti which is sarvatra sarvada, that bhakti which is everywhere, in everything, and with all times. That's the beauty of this verse, the beauty of the commentary of Sri Jiva Goswami on this verse. Sarvatra sarvada, the bhakti which is sarvatra, everywhere, in all ingredients, even in sinful person. And sarvada, the bhakti which is at all times. Very beautiful commentary on this. So we have to understand this. Mahaprabhu, he gave Adesh, order. Okay, what was Mahaprabhu order? Jare dekho tare kaho. What? Krishna Upadesh. Amar Agya Guru Bhaiya Taroi Desh. What is the order of Mahaprabhu? To whomever you see, to whomever you meet, give them inspiration to Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Karo Krishna Shiksha. 3 together, not 1. Mahaprabhu didn't say only to 1, but 3 together, following the instruction of Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, worship Krishna, and chanting Krishna Naam. So maturely we have to understand this point. The comparative study our Goswamis have done. And Jiva Goswami Pad, he made a very fine polishing on those vichars of Sri Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. So, no allegations on Jiva Goswami. He is the prominent Rupanuga. Actually, it is said to Raghunath Das Goswami. Who is the best Rupanuga? Raghunath Das Goswami. But also, Jiva Goswami being disciple of Sri Rupa Goswami Pad. So, these are some glories of Sri Jiva Goswami. So actually, time is late in some countries, so I will continue one more class on Jiva Goswami Pad, but not tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm busy. I'm traveling, and tomorrow I have a appointment, COVID test to be done before I arrive in Holland. Yes, so tomorrow is my appointment, so I cannot give class tomorrow, but Tuesday is my flight. So before flight, we will announce tomorrow. Let's see if I can do this one class, and then actually there are so many qualities and glories of Jiva Goswami Pad, but with our limited understanding, we are trying to hear more and more. Okay. Bolo Shri Jiva Goswami Pad ki jai. And then one announcement. Yeah, tomorrow is no class. Yes, one other announcement. Some devotees, on the occasion of Srila Gurudev Disappearance Day, I forgot it's so many days, they gave some donations to me, but they're writing the legal name, which I don't know. I only know if they write their spiritual name, because very long name and very difficult name, so I'm not understanding who is that, but anyone who sent this, I don't know who amongst all of you. I'm so much thankful for that, and really I mean it. Thank you so much for this service. And next time, if you can write your spiritual name, then it's easy to say thanks to you personally for that. Otherwise, I'm not able to understand who that person is. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpurvasya kripa sindhu vyavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namah. Tot Strat in Holland. Hare Krishna. If possible, everyone, when you're chanting, can do some more chanting with the prayers for Anupam Prabhu. I'm very much concerned and worried for him. I want him to get recovered as soon as possible. But if we all together, if we chant for him, the rest depends on Krishna. The rest depends on Gurudev. Kauntya pratijani name bhakta parnashyati. My devotee never perish. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bolo Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai. Nimai can sing Mahamantra.
Bogdan.
Doe maar. Je moet Hare Krishna zingen.
Bokke dan.
Ja, ga zingen. Ik wil heel graag of je wil zingen.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauda Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gauda Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Gurudev.
Nimai Prabhu ki jai. Very good, Nimai.
DJ.
Yes. How old is he? How old is Nimai? 3 years only. My goodness. So he's going to travel with me. He's going to be Kirtanya, Mridanga, and singing. He's going to travel with me. You see, this is called chanting. Wait. This is called chanting without offenses. Simple heart. Don't know anything. Why I say simple heart? They don't know any discrimination. You know, offenseless chanting. And that's why progress goes fast. But when we chant, we start criticizing. We start pointing out this and that and that, and then finish. Harinam Prabhu can't tolerate any criticism because our heart are not pure. There's so much impurities because there's discrimination. Child, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, they don't know anything. Chanting without offense. See? So nice. So impressed too. I didn't expect it. He can sing like that. Very nice. Yes. Thanks to their parents who are teaching their kids like that. Very nice. Next time I want to hear, we do with Mridanga.
So baby,
So again, another one, 1 year old only. Hare Krishna.
Ik ben chill, 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 chill.
Now they're getting childish. Okay, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Thank you.